guys, did a video yesterday on literally taking you through my room and going through all the books and stuff that I read, and this is the second part of the video, which is basically talking about the podcasts and audiobooks I listen to. So anyone that follows me long enough, you know that I'm a massive reader. You know, I read 50 to 100 books last year between audio and physical books. Audio is my favorite method of learning. They generally say there's three types of learners, you know, visual, audio, kinesthetic. And then you've got your osmosis learning, which I actually think is the best. Osmosis is when you learn by actually living it and doing it through seeing other people. But in terms of actual book content, I always find that audio was always better. I always found I thrived in college because of it was more audio, you know, because it was a lecturer speaking to you, and I tend to remember things better. So if you're somebody that remembers things by speaking and having conversations, for example, my head trainer Paul is completely audio and visual. You know, he, apart from reading, he can't read books, doesn't read books, doesn't take it in, but my God, is the man a sponge when you tell him something, you know. So I'm the same with audiobooks. So I'm just going to take you through my audio library at the minute. I have over 100 books in my audio library, so I'm not going to go through them all. But basically, if you don't have this app, the Audible app, I recommend you download it 100%. The Audible app is the Amazon audiobook app. So basically, the first one is free. So I'll try and actually get a link and put it down below so that you can download your free audiobook from Audible. It's obviously not an affiliate thing. I'm not making anything off it, but it will help people that if this is the route you want to go down, you get the first one for free. It's how it got me hooked. But basically, going through my audiobooks, a couple of ones the ones I'm listening to at the minute. I'm listening to The Magic of Thinking Big, which is basically how to expand your thoughts and not letting people's opinions derive what direction you go in life with business and, you know, your personal life. It's not bad. A lot of ideas that I've seen before and heard of before, but again, it's always good to build on foundation ideas from previous books. Ask Gary V. Anyone that follows Gary Vaynerchuck, he's absolutely amazing. He's a social media expert. His new book, the Ask Gary V, it's basically just all the questions that have been asked him put into a book format. I'm listening to that too, and I love it. The two I've listened to most recently, and I've talked about this in other videos, is The Happiness Advantage, which basically talks about the things in life that you need to do to make yourself happier and how perception plays a role on this. Anyone that watched the video before, I can't remember what the title of it was, where I talked how two people walked out into the street one day and one was like, oh, it's fucking too warm outside. I can't believe it's this hot. You know, I didn't wear the right clothes today. And another person walks out and is like, oh my God, it's the nicest day ever. The sun is shining in the sky. This is amazing. I can't believe it. And the only difference between the two people was the perception of the day. You know, The Happiness Advantage uses examples like that all the way through about how different people see different things from different perspectives, and that influences their positivity and negativity in their life. Then The Obstacle is the Way. I've recommended this to so many people. It's one of my favorites. Basically, it talks about Stoic philosophy. So Stoic philosophy was back in Roman times with Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, followed Stoic philosophy, which basically is using obstacles and the bad things that have happened in your life to move past it and use them as stepping stones to becoming a stronger version of you. Definitely recommend that book. Ryan Holiday is an amazing author. He was mentored by Robert Greene, who's my favorite author, who did Mastery and the 48 Laws of Power, both audiobooks on my Audible library. I need to break that into two parts because my iPad ran out of memory. Yeah, basically, so The Obstacle is the Way is the other one that I always recommend people about Stoic philosophy. One that's really, really supported me. If I go through my Audible library, as in I flick through, I'm not sure how clear that is. There. You know, you can see Richard Branson, a couple of Richard Branson books, books on money, books on business, books on podcasting, tribes. You know, it goes on. You know, I've got a lot of books in my Audible library. My favorite ones are the ones I mentioned, and a couple of ones that I've referenced in other videos, like The Power of Habit, books that have really, really supported me. My main tip for people, if you find you're an audio learner, and particularly if you're a podcast person, you know, I might actually have to do a separate video for podcasts. If you're a podcast person, you're going to be good at audio too, because they're just basically long versions of podcasts. You know, if you find that you learn well that way, I would definitely recommend trying the Audible app. I'll try, as I said, I'll try and link in the video below. They're my main kind of books from it at the minute, the ones I'm listening to currently, and the ones that I've just finished. Classics in there like Mastery from Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, Zebras Don't Have Ulcers is another one I love. It's about cortisol and stress on the body. The Story of the Human Body by Daniel Lieberman. that's a book. Again, a lot of these books I've got the hard copy and the audio copy, because I literally love the book so much that I will go between reading it and listening to it just to constantly flood my mind with those ideas. The story of the human body is incredible. Basically talks about all the reasons that we have disease and injuries as people from an evolutionary perspective, and the reasons that we get sick and get things like cancers and have issues like back injuries and lower back problems, and why evolution and what's happened from an evolutionary standpoint to give us those problems. It's really, really good at just kind of feeding your mind with, okay, why is this happened? No more than the philosophy book with Plato that I mentioned yesterday. Using stories from 2,000 years ago that are more applicable today, it helps to have an idea of how your body, where it came from and how it evolved, and why there's certain problems that happen with people today, and that it's down to an evolutionary point of view. So I don't want to run over in this video. I'm going to do a separate one for podcasts. So there's going to be 3. This is part 2 of 3. First one was my physical book. Second was this one with the audio, and then my third is going to be the podcast.